Do you notice a sense of competition with their kicks on court in here?
Oh yeah, they watch TV and they're seeing what other guys are wearing, out there on the court, and they'll always ask me if it's not a team color that those guys are wearing, how come they can wear that, and we can't? I'm like, well, because we're the Kings. They definitely watch other guys. They watch their teammates, see what they're wearing. So that's a big part of it too.
Who would you say switches their kicks on court up the most in here?
I would probably say DeMarcus is 1A and Isaiah would be 1B, followed closely by Ben and Rudy. Those four, they change theirs up a lot.
Before we go to the next room, I want to pick 4 players in here, and I want you to give me one word that describes them, shoe-wise, and why.
All right.
Derrick Williams.
Derrick Williams, one word that describes his shoe wearing would be everywhere. He loves wild shoes. So probably better than everywhere would be wild. He likes putting on a shoe so that when you see him, the first thing you're gonna go do is you're looking at his feet like, what's he wearing? Because he loves a wild shoe.
Okay. Isaiah Thomas.
Comfort. I think when he looks at the shoe, he likes the way it looks, but he's more into the comfort factor.
Big Cuz.
Big Cuz. Yeah, that's a tough one. Eclectic. He just likes shoes. Rudy's the same way. Those are 2 guys in particular that even when they come into practice, or you're getting ready to get on the plane, they always have another pair of different shoes on.
And last but not least, Rudy.
Rudy, fun. He just likes to have fun with the shoe. So he wants something that's kind of fun.
So what do the players usually do when the season is over with? Do they get all their shoes and you ship them to their different locations?
Yeah, it depends. Either I'll ship them or they'll take them. And I kind of leave that up to them. Whatever they need, we'll send it to them or they'll take it with them. And then at the end of the season, like I said, I'll try to get the ones that they're done with and at least get them to sign them so that we have those around here for different events, that kind of thing. So this here is actually one of the shoe bags that we travel with when we go on the road. So basically on this one here, you can kind of see the numbers on the bag here. So each player has basically a section there for their shoes. For instance, this is DeMarcus. Like I said, he may have 2 or 3 pairs of shoes that we travel with. So there's a couple of pair there that he's been wearing on the road. This is the other pair that Rudy likes. The shoe bag here, we'll carry at least 2 of these on the road for anywhere we go. Sometimes with Rudy Gay, DeMarcus, those 2 in particular, and even Isaiah. Depending on the uniform that we're wearing, they may have 2 or 3 different shoes they like wearing with that uniform. So in that case, especially if we're on the road, I'll take basically all 3 styles of shoe just to make sure we have what he's gonna want out there. With that, you never know what's gonna happen out there on the court. You also gotta make sure you have a backup. And they're usually pretty easy. I mean, even if you get out there on the road and you don't have the shoe that they were looking for, these guys are professional about it and they understand. And, we may not have talked before we left or whatever, and they're good with what they're wearing. All right, so this is my equipment room. I got stuff everywhere. I know where everything is, so I know how my mess is laid out. Basically, what I have set up back here is I have a whole row of lockers here. For each player, they have a locker back here. So basically, in their locker, anything that they wear, whether it's their game stuff, shoes, I have stuff in there for them. So if they ever need anything and they can't find me, they can come back here, open up this locker, and usually anything that they wear is in here. I also keep their shoes up above the locker. So if they need a pair of shoes, they can also come back here. And actually it helps me because some of these guys are a little bit taller, so they can go up top and get their shoes a lot easier than I can. Most of these boxes that you see around here are full of shoes. So we just don't have a whole lot of space to pull them all out. Ton of shoes there. You can see more Reeboks over there. Reebok sends a lot of shoes. Here in the laundry room area, we keep a lot of shoes up here, usually older models. Another little storage area back over here, and all the shoes that I have on the racks back here are just mainly gonna be giveaway shoes. This is where we've kind of started a stack of a lot of the shoes that Isaiah's already signed. Some of these he hasn't worn for the game, but he's worn them in practice. So he really doesn't wear them, very much, and he usually gets out of the shoe. I like the storage room here because at least it's all open, but everything's hidden, so you really can't see where everything's at. Even this was my breakfast. So we got a lot of stuff everywhere though.
So Dwayne, you're actually the most tenured person we've done this with.
Okay.
You said 20 years.
Yes.
Tell us, like, through those 20 years, what are the experiences that you remember most?
Especially when you're dealing with sports, you remember two things: winning and you remember losing. Those two complete opposites. But I know when I started in Dallas, I was with the Mavericks for 10 years. When I started out down there, that was Michael Finley, Dirk, Nash, Scott Williams, some of those guys, Juwan Howard. It was like you were in an age group with these guys. So you knew these guys, you kind of grew up with them. So it was a little bit different perspective as opposed to, now being here in Sacramento. Most of these guys we have now, they could be my son. So it's so your outlook on everything is a little bit different, dealing with the guys. But everywhere I've been, it's always been great. I mean, it's a great chance to meet a lot of great guys. That's the part I like. I mean, I love meeting people and just talking with them.
Through those 20 years, what are some of the most unforgettable kicks on court moments that you, maybe in Dallas or Milwaukee or here, that you were just like, wow, maybe someone blew out of shoes?
Yeah, when I first started down there in Dallas, we had Khalid Reeves. And I remember our head trainer then, Roger Hines, he's with the Knicks. He was talking about how he's seen Khalid just run through a pair of shoes. Recently, I've seen Manu Ginobili do it. Well, Khalid would just plant and come out of it, and I mean literally just blow the shoe up. The force on it was so great. It was amazing, and he would do it in games. He did it in practice. You would see things like that. Some of the guys I know in Dallas with Steve Nash, sometimes I would beg him to get out of a shoe because he just didn't change his shoe. He found a shoe that he liked and he stuck with it. In Milwaukee, when I was there in Milwaukee, I was there for 6 years, and Luke Ridnour was a lot like that also. Michael Finley back there in Dallas was another one. He was a Jordan guy. He got a lot of shoes sent, but he didn't wear it very much. So he would wear it for 2 or 3 games and he was done.
What is your advice to someone who would want to be in your position?
Coming into a position like this, it's I always hear from people, and even friends, hey, Dwayne, you got a great job. Actually, they say D Wonder, because no one calls me Dwayne. But it's a great job, and it is. We're blessed. The people that you meet, and whether it's not just the players or staffs, it's just people in general. It's unbelievable. Getting started or advice I would give somebody is, you gotta come into it with an open mind and know that whatever you plan on doing on a particular day, it's probably not going to happen. Everything, especially in the equipment department, it changes, quickly. So you have to be ready, and you have to be willing, and you have to be able to adapt quickly. And truthfully, it's almost like you have to think ahead. So you always have to be one step ahead of whether it's your coaches, your staff, GMs, your players. You have to be ready.
And for those that say, man, I wish I had a job like D Wonder. A lot of people don't understand the rigors of an 82-game season.
Yeah.
Traveling and stuff like that.
Yeah, and with what I do, it's not just taking care of the shoes. It's you're taking care of all the needs for the players, for the coaches, staff, for everybody. For me, practice starts at 11. So I'm usually here at 7:30. In the mornings when I usually get in. When practices, they may be out there for an hour and a half, and players and everybody's hitting the doors. You're still here, till 3:30, getting everything cleaned up and getting ready for the next practice or the next game. Sometimes, you have a visiting team that's in town, so they're practicing, and you're taking care of their laundry needs or whatever they may have to do. So for 7 months during the regular season, 7 days a week, there's no days off. So you're in it and doing whatever you can.
Well, D Wonder, thank you again for letting us get another episode of Soul Access.
All right,
I know you're a busy man, so we gotta get out of here.
Hey, thanks for coming by, and go Kings.